Welcome back to the second hour of the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. We certainly are not ashamed of the good news conservatism, for it is the power of liberation, first to the Republican and then to the tyrant. Mary Brockman, my bouncer in chief, muchas gracias to you. Thank you so much for being in that chat role, holding things down on that fort. I want to make a correction here. Michael Brown was on the program earlier, and I lamented from a statement that David Duke endorsed Joe Biden. Okay, and I thought I was in error. So I wanted to cover my gluteus maximus and make certain that the truth be known that Richard Spencer did endorse. He's a white supremacist. But I was uncertain about David Duke. And I like to admit that I'm human. That way, no one can hold me to a standard of divinity. I am not perfect in any regard, but I had reported earlier this year that David Duke did endorse Joe Biden. I want to go down the list of entities that have endorsed Joe Biden that are radical in terms of not only terroristic actions, but in terms of actions to overthrow our U.S. government. The first, of course, is white supremacist Richard Spencer, who endorsed Joe Biden. And you can go to the August 24th, 2020 issue of Summit News to find that out. And we place that in our chat roll so that people can click on and find it for themselves. Also, Bob Avakian, founder and leader of the Revolutionary Communist Party of the USA, endorsed Joe Biden. You can find his stuff on the August 3rd, 2020 issue of the WashingtonTimes.com. The Communist Party leader backs Biden. Then, in addition to that, former KKK leader David Duke, and the left was just giddy with nonchalant admiration for the fact that David Duke endorsed Donald Trump in the last election, 2016. Well, David Duke has changed his mind. David Duke now backs Joe Biden. You can find that in the westernjournal.com. Called former KKK leader David Duke backs Democrat 2020 election. 20 election. There you go. In addition, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not through yet. Not through yet. We got a lot of stuff to talk about regarding the electoral process here in America. If you think it reprehensible that Richard Spencer endorses Joe Biden, if you think it reprehensible that David Duke, former KKK leader, endorses Joe Biden, if you think it equally reprehensible that Bob Avakian, founder and leader of the Revolutionary Communist Party of the USA, endorses Joe Biden, you might find it quite a revelation that the Communist Party of China endorses Joe Biden. In fact, you'll find this in the gatewaypundit.com, officially as of August 2020 issue, a confirmation that Chinese Communist newspaper endorses Joe Biden. Now, I want you all to think this is not your Washington Times newspaper or your Washington Examiner or your New York Post. Notice I did not say the New York Times or the Washington Post or whatever, because they are actually propaganda pieces for the People's Republic of Democrat Marxist America and for the Democrat Marxist Party. They are the literal PR piece. CNN News, MSNBC, even Fox News at times is the PR piece for the Democrat Marxist Party. But in this particular case, when you talk about the Washington Examiner, Western Journal, AC Nation News, entities like that, No, no, they're pursuers of the truth. And the truth of the matter is that the Chinese Communist Party sees Joe Biden as a more comfortable person to negotiate with. He's smoother to deal with than with Donald Trump. Wait a minute. It was the Obama administration with Joe Biden who were selling the farm, selling uranium to Russia, selling your jobs to China. And they are endorsed, what Joe Biden is endorsed by the Chinese Communist Party, which is a propaganda piece or media piece for the Chinese Communist Party. So, for all of you out there, if you think it disconcerting that Donald Trump was once endorsed by David Duke and you ran all over the place running that particular news story, why don't I hear from you right now? Why don't I hear from you to say that it is a quite devastating piece that men of that particular character would endorse Joe Biden? Yes, the Chinese Communist Party has endorsed Joe Biden, but we are to walk away thinking, ladies and gentlemen, that it's Russia, 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 when really it's China, China, China. And let's be real, the China flu, which came from the communists who are basically Marxists. This election is very simple. I kid you not. And I want to say this to you before we go to commercial break and bring on none other than Dave Milner, the unpleasant blind guy. You'll hear him on SHR Media. It's very simple. Do you want the freedom and liberty that comes with Christianity, conservatism, constitutionalism, capitalism, and individual sovereignty? Then you would vote for Donald Trump. Or do you want the totalitarian, anti-God, anti-freedom, censorship-bound entities called Marxists who are headed best by AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Do you want them running your country? Then you vote for them. Very simple, ladies and gentlemen. You either want freedom or you want totalitarianism. The Chinese People's Republic believes that you'll vote for Joe Biden so that you become a colony of China. Just another colony of the totalitarian regime. I'll vote for freedom and liberty. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more of the best in urban conservative talk. I'm Kenneth McClenton, TECN TV president, also the host of the Exceptional Conservative Show. We are the best in urban conservative news, talk, and movies. And we are a republic, ladies and gentlemen, not a democracy, as Fox News will have you to believe. We don't go by the mob. We go by the citizenry. And as well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come back and talk with none other than, again, I say Dave Milner, because we want to go back over the issue of the British throne introducing itself in terms of the politics of the U.S. of A. Didn't we break away from them about 200 some odd years ago? I think we did. We'll be right back.